The news hit like a bomb. Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, had reportedly died. And that, of course, shakes the balance of the entire world. Today we're going to dive deep to understand not only what is happening, but also who this man was and how the complex power structure he controlled for over 3 decades actually works. The spark that started it all was a very dramatic statement from former United States President Donald Trump. He didn't just declare Khamenei's death, he also described him as one of the most evil people in history. A statement like that, coming from who it came from, already sets the geopolitical chessboard on fire, doesn't it? But then the whole thing got very confusing and fast. On one side, the United States confirming his death. On the other, Iran's foreign minister asserting that Khamenei was in fact alive. This war of narratives created a scenario of enormous uncertainty and, of course, a great deal of speculation. But in order for us to measure the full weight of a story like this, we need to take a step back. After all, who was Ali Khamenei? He was the longest-serving head of state in the entire Middle East, a figure who for 35 years shaped Iran and the politics of the entire region. His rise to power was a methodical climb. It began back in the 1960s as a protégé of Ayatollah Khomeini, already embracing a deeply radical ideology. In the 1980s, he became a central religious figure. Shortly after, in 1981, he was elected president, the first cleric to hold that office. And the pinnacle came in 1989 when he finally became supreme leader. That rise to the top was not without controversy. When Khomeini died, Khamenei technically did not meet all the religious requirements for the position. What happened? A hasty constitutional amendment was pushed through to allow him to take power, a maneuver that, in practice, consolidated authority in the hands of that inner circle. But how does all that power actually work in practice? Let's take a look at the anatomy of the Iranian regime. It's what we call a theocracy, a very particular system where religious authority and political authority blend together in a deeply complex way. The central concept for understanding Iran is that of the Ayatollah. It's not just a title, it represents the supreme religious and juridical authority within the country's Shia Islam. It was the 1979 revolution that put the Ayatollahs in command, creating the system we see to this day. The division of power, or rather, the concentration of power, works like this. While the president is elected to a 4-year term and handles domestic affairs, his actual power is quite limited. Real power rests with the supreme leader, a lifetime position with absolute control over the armed forces, foreign policy, and the country's most important decisions. To sustain all that power, the supreme leader relies on 2 massive institutions. First, the Guardian Council, a body that functions as a filter, able to veto any law that isn't aligned with the regime's ideology. And then, there is the Revolutionary Guard, a huge elite military force loyal to one person alone, the supreme leader. Iran's foreign policy, initiated by Khomeini and maintained by Khamenei, is defined by a very hardline stance against the West. This is made clear in the nicknames they created, the Great Satan, referring to the United States, and the Little Satan, for Israel, terms that became virtual slogans of the regime. With the death of such a central and powerful figure, the big question is, what comes next? Khamenei's departure, after such a long reign, inevitably opens a period of deep uncertainty for Iran and for the entire Middle East. From the United States' perspective, his death was seen not only as a geopolitical fact, but as an opportunity for the Iranian people. The big question hanging in the air is whether that vision will actually come to pass, and signs of internal instability are already beginning to emerge. There are reports that members of the Revolutionary Guard may be seeking immunity from the United States. If confirmed, this could point to very deep fractures in one of the regime's key pillars, threatening to destabilize the entire power structure. And so we close with the fundamental question this event raises. With the central figure off the board, is Iran on the verge of a new chapter? The answer to that question will define the future not only of one nation, but of an entire region. The only certainty, for now, is uncertainty.